Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Unfortunately, I cannot be with you, but anyway, I would like to give you really a warm welcome to Venice. Even if I know that today is a gray Venice, but it's Venice. Okay, please be so sure that we are really happy for your application at this call. As you know, the small-scale projects are a novelty for our program, so we are proud to have a good result, a good number of applications, and we trust in their first experience, or anyway in their experience as new entry with other experienced partners. Today is really a technical section, and later on the JS will drive you through unfortunately some bureaucratic and necessary technicalities for the implementation, for the correct implementation of your project. But I'm sure that you are ready and that the JS could be really a good and clear and a strong help to you for going through the implementation without any doubt. So I would like just to spend a few words for this introduction and give the floor to my colleagues of the JS that are really strong and ready and experienced. So good luck and good work for all of us. Thank you.
I will, thank you, Flavia. Thank you from our side. I think we can now start with I'm sorry, we have to delay. We have a technical problem that we solved as usual, but we are ready to start. I will introduce you briefly the agenda for today. I'm Silvia Comiati, I'm the head of JS. And my colleagues will, after me, show you a little bit of the rules and the functioning of how to implement a small-scale project in our program. So we will start with an overview of the small-scale projects that we funded. These are the first projects that we funded in 21-27. So somehow you are the first, and also this is let's say the first time that we use also some tools like the new monitoring system GEMS, or we have a new website. So you need to have a little bit of patience because this is being set up in this first month of implementation of the new projects. We will talk about the contracting phase and a little bit about state aid, what are state aid, and how we manage state aid in our program. Then we will go into the startup phase, so what is needed to be done by small-scale projects in the beginning of implementation, and we will briefly look at the reporting schedule, which is coming next year. We will talk about financials. This is quite a crucial aspect in Interreg. My colleagues will try to make it as easy as possible for you, but after that, and after also an overview of the GEMS starting phase, we will have a first session of question and answer for you to somehow tackle the issues that we have presented in this first part. We will have a brief break, and then we will continue the meeting, the second part, about communication activities and capitalization, which is a key word in our 21-27 programming period. And we will conclude with, again, a question and answer session, and we will try to give you as much possible, as much space as possible for your questions, for your doubts, or requests today. So I will not go on with the explanation. I will leave the floor to my colleagues. We will share the presentation now. And Sorrentino, you should be the first one to start. So please, Sorrentino, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's start. Welcome to everybody. First, we are very happy to have newcomers in this new programming period. Just a brief overview about the state of the art of the small-scale projects. Here we could see together a table in which all the funded projects have been listed. They have been organized according to specific objective. You see also the starting date of each project. You have to consider that during our assessment and clearing condition, we faced two situations of lead partner replacement. So in particular, we are dealing with two projects that have experienced this situation. And these are the two projects which starting date has been postponed to the 1st of September. As you can see, we have the majority of funded projects in specific objective 5.1. We have 4 projects for the specific objective 2.2, 4 projects, excuse me, for the specific objective 4.1. And we were able to cover the financial availability for the call, but this issue will be addressed later with the financial issues. We could move to the second slide in order to have a brief overview about the state of the art of procedures that are needed for starting the project implementation. So we have 21 projects that have been put for financing by the monitoring committee. According to the nationality of the partner, we could see that maybe there is a mistake, but we have 15 Italian lead partners and 6 Croatian lead partners. As a whole, we have 68 project partners. It could be considered a very good result. As regards the starting date of the projects, 10 had a starting date the 1st of July, 9 the 1st of August, 2 the 1st of September. What are the actual situation as regards the fulfillment of the condition clearing? We have the following situation: 15 fulfillment letters, 2 are closing soon, so we are very near to closing the whole process. As regards the financial decree to be issued by the managing authority, we have 15 financial decree issued, and 9 of them are registered. Partnership agreement 9, but consider that it's very important to hurry up on such a task, because we have also to remind that the JS task is also to check the compliance of this tool to the program rules and in general to the INTEG rules. Kickoff meeting, consider that this is an important event that each project has to handle with. Up to now, 7 were scheduled and 6 were done. Please remind to inform JS about the planning of your JS of your kickoff meeting, because our interest is to be in touch with you and to take part in those events. We'll make our maximum effort to be present in presence, but in case it will be not possible, an online participation will for sure ensure. But please plan carefully this activity and advise in advance the JS team. It's all as regards myself. I give the floor to my colleagues.
Okay, thank you, Sorrentino. Now, Marcello will proceed with the next slides.
Good morning, everybody. So we go through the contracting phase, and what we want to point out is that first of all, partnership project have to go through the partnership agreement because the managing authority want that partnership fully agree of basic content of the engagement in within the Interreg project, our program, and most for what it concerns the reimbursement flow of the money from managing authority to lead partner and partnership. So please, first of all, use the updated template we have published in our program website. Fill in the template all the part you have in the brackets, so fill in the correct data and data you are required to fill in. And for the reimbursement flow, you have two options, lead partner creation and Italian partner creation. So according to your project, choose the right option and fill it in. Once the partnership agreement is dated and signed, you have to upload it in GEMS. We will check if the partnership agreement is okay, is right. If some spot some problems, we'll go back to you through the project manager. We will ask you for some correction, and we will able to upload once again the partnership agreement. So you can, through GEMS, you can delete the old version, upload the new version. The partnership agreement will be, of course, an annex of the subsidy contract. So once we will find the partnership agreement and check in GEMS, we will go through the draft of subsidy contract. We will send to the partner through the project manager the subsidy for your check, for sharing before formalizing, and the managing authority, once the decree regarding your project has been registered by the budget unit, so we are sure that we have the money to give you. They formally send to you the subsidy contract to be signed by the lead partner. So the lead partner receives the subsidy contract, signed digitally or and writing signature, and send back to the managing authority. And the timing foreseen is for the signature by the lead partner is 1 month. So finally, the managing authority will sign the subsidy contract, and the JS will be in charge for uploading it in GEMS. This is the flow of the signature of partnership agreement and subsidy contract. Well, now go to an important topic which concerns the state aid. Most of you are newcomers, as my colleague before said. So state aid is a sensitive aspect, matter, and this is the right occasion, possibility for us to just recap some concepts regarding state aids. So first of all, the notion of state aid is foreseen by the Treaty on Functioning of the European Union. And if you go through the sentence on the screen, you can already detect the 5 elements that which constitute the state aid. So first of all, we have state resources. This means that if you have a public contribution, we have any public contribution is a state resource. So second element is the contribution must be received by an undertaking. Undertaking actually is a concept that means that it doesn't matter the legal form of the entity which take part to our project. What is important is that the subject perform an economic activity within the project. Let's say that it sells goods and services in the market. Third element is if the partner receive an economic advantage, which it would have not received in the normal condition of market. So another element is the selectivity, and this criteria is almost met, because if one receives normally, if one undertaking receive an advantage, this means that the benefit is not received by other competitor. And another element is the distortion of the competition. And also this criteria is always met, but sometimes we can avoid it because we can argue that the contribution has just a local effect, but like a very small museum and a small municipality. But you know that our projects are supposed to be a cross-border project, so we have we have to be very careful to manage this concept of the local effect. Sorry. Okay. Basically, we can have a direct state aid, and that means that the aid is granted to a partner of the project, one partner or one or more partner of the project. And as you can understand, very easy to meet all the 5 criteria, but sometimes we can argue that the partner, which could be considered also an undertaking, do not receive an economic advantage because all the know-how that the partner acquire within the project is made available for free to everyone. That means that all the not only the output and the deliverables are disseminated during the dissemination events, but all are published in the program websites, in the websites of the project partners. And for now, I mean, so, for instance, technical specification of an application and so on. And that means that people don't need to ask for receive this information, but they should be able to already find published in the websites of the program and of the partner of the of the projects. We can have also indirect state aid, and that means that in this case, the aid is granted to someone that is outside the project partnership. And I think that you have to pay very attention to this aspect, because it happens often that you underestimate this possibility. But this is a case, for instance, and this often happens, of training or services which are provided to people or entities outside the partnership. Like this is a case of training, for instance, and if you organize training and you select undertaking that participate to these activities, this could be considered as an aid, a state aid granted to undertakings. And the fact that all the material, methodologies of training will be published and made available, this is not enough to avoid state aid for undertaking who participates are selected to attend the meeting. So, but at the same time, we have to be careful with because sometimes we call training what instead is we can in the reality are workshops, a workshop organized with stakeholders from different sectors, but still workshops which normally foreseen an participatory approach. That means that people can participate to this kind of activity, not only to receive knowledge, but also there is an exchange of knowledge. They bring an added value to the activity of the project. So also consultation are not training. So what is very important is actually the content of the activity you perform, not just the name. And during the cleaning condition of the small project, we we several times faced this argument, this aspect, and some of you changed the name of activity, but not only the name, also the content. But anyway, we will monitor how you will implement the activity, and in order to be sure that you respect the conditions that we put in the subsidy contract. We will ask for the documentation and the clarification before you implementing them. Last but not least, please be aware that state aid that is not registered before giving, it will be considered illegal. So it will be, in case the audit authority will detect an illegal aid granted to partnership, or as can happen to someone outside the partnership, the aid will be recovered. So these are basic elements, concept, but anyway, if you should have some doubts, clarification to be asked, I'll be at your disposal. Also by mail if you want to contact me. Okay, this is all from my side.
Thank you, Marcello. Thank you very much. And now Angela will continue with the presentation on the main aspects of project implementation.
Okay, good morning. I'm Angelo Mason, Program Administrative Manager. have been working since 2019 in the JS. I have an European background and I'm in charge of administrative issue at the program level. I would like to introduce the team of JS project manager, which will be the interface between and the contact person between the JS and you and your project, and which will solve, we hope, all the issues rising during the implementation. I will start from my colleague Anca Daniela Simon from Bucharest.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Anca Daniela Simon, and I'm very happy to be here. And okay, and I will be working with projects BRICS, COME, and only small-scale projects approved. Thank you very much. Looking forward to working with you and supporting you along the lines that has been presented. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anka, for your very quick presentation. And then it is the turn of a Croatian project manager based in Croatia. Diana, please take the floor.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Diana Grazin Petrovic, and I work as a project manager in the Zadar Antenna office for almost 7 years. I will be in charge of small-scale projects Cicero, Vera, and Monica.
Thank you, Diana. Please, Natalia.
Good morning to all. My name is Natalia Agic, and I'm working within JS as a project manager. Out of 21 approved projects, I will be in charge, and I am in charge for 4 of them, namely CREATE, DemiCOP, Ethnic, and COPE projects. What it means that I will be monitoring your projects at the level of achievement of deliverables and outputs, while of course in the same time ensuring that all project activities are implemented in accordance to EU and program rules. I can use this opportunity to thank to all 4 lead partners for being responsive, and hopefully we will meet in person in the near future.
Thank you, Natalia. Now, Hervoje, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Hrvoje Grancaric. I'll be following as project manager the projects Adriatic Portland, BNA, Mario, and Sfera. I work also in the branch office, or newly it's called Antenna office in Zadar, together with Diana, Lovro, and Renata, who you will also hear a bit later. Yes, we have already a very good cooperation with the 4 projects, and I hope to continue in the future.
Thank you, Hervoje. And then an Italian colleague, Paolo Ottoni.
Hello, probably the only one, yes, the only one Italian colleague. And okay, hello to everybody. I'm Paolo Ottoni. I'm working on the JS since almost 5 years. And now for the small projects, I follow news, DigiSmart, and DEC. I have a good cooperation. I started with a good cooperation with the lead partner. I hope that everything continue. And okay, good luck for the future. And that's all for the moment.
And now it is the turn of Marin Miletic.
Yes, hello to everybody. I'm a project manager at the JS, and I'm in charge as project manager for the projects of specific objective 2.2, ML3 and HABI, and for the projects of the specific objective 5.1, efficient to pay and enable, and I'm at disposal of this projects for everything is needed following them on behalf of the JS. Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, the connection is not perfect.
Sorry, have you heard me? I can repeat.
Yes, but the connection was from time to time disappearing. But okay, we listened the core of your introduction. So this is the dream team which will follow you during the implementation. Now I would like to say something regarding the first stage of the implementation, the starting phase of the implementation, and starting maybe from the concept of lead partner principle. Lead partner principle is a concept which is well known in the Interreg environment, and the Interreg regulation said highlighted 2 important elements of being lead partner principle. of being link partner. So when you will sign the subsidy contract with the managing authority, you will bear the full financial and legal responsibility for the implementation of the entire project. This is important because our counterpart will not be your partnership, but will be you. And you will take the full financial and legal responsibility for carry out the project. So in a nutshell, you will be the interface between the program, between the JS and the project. Then, as I highlighted before, the interregulation provide that you must arrange, as you well known, and as I said by a previous speaker, the arrangement with other partner in an agreement. The agreement you will find, there is a draft of the agreement, a format published in the website, our website. You must fill and then submit, as already said by Marcello. The second very important element, which is written in the Interreg regulation, is that you must ensure that the expenditure submitted by all partners has been paid in implementing the project, in implementing the operation, and correspond to the activities agreed between partners, and it is in accordance with the subsidy contract and the application form. This is important. It is one of, in my opinion, task to take seriously in account when performing your job of lead partner. Then we can go further. Yes, the lead partner has several project management tasks. First of all, to set up a steering committee. The steering committee is the structure which is needed to monitor the project, to take decision on major project modification. Then the project management unit to establish, made of project manager, financial manager, and communication management, which will maybe look deeply after that. Then important for us to take in charge the quality of the management, to set up an evaluation plan, or even to conceive some evaluation activities to assess the achievement. And also the risk-related part of the implementation must be taken into account. In the last programming period, we saw that how important is to face any risks which arise. My first, I can say that all remember what happened with the pandemic. But the risks are not only of financial nature, as it has always happened, are of a strategic content, and also could involve the communication, the sense that if you're not able to achieve to communicate with the target group, to transfer to the target group your project, this is a risk that must be put in a management plan. And then, of course, what we can say, it is the way to baptize the project. So the kickoff meeting in which all partners must be present, and all steps are clear about who will done what, and which is the guiding, which is the next, the agenda, and so on. Kickoff meeting is very important. We saw that some partners already started with that. We participated, and they are on a good track. And then we can, remaining on the importance for the lead partner to organize a good project management, the decision-making structure must be able to steer and monitor the project progress, and to find, in case of situation of risk that will arise, find adequate mitigation measure. And the structure will consist, as already said, on a project manager, which will be the driving force of the project. When you choose a skilled project manager, you put the project on the safe side of the implementation, and the same is for financial manager. Financial manager must be skilled, of course, in managing the problem of the budget, budget modification, and to be skilled in the reporting. And then the communication manager, but my colleague will go deep in that. Remember that a project which cannot communicate the result of the activity, what they are done, is a project that doesn't exist. And this is important at a European level, and also, and very important for us, at a program level, and of course at a project level. Then this is a novelty, a midterm review meeting. The project and the program need to carry out a performance check on the project when during the implementation at halfway. And in this meeting that each partner has to organize, the JS will participate, and even if it is the case, also the managing authority or other entities as observer can participate. The review is very important because during the review, there is a possibility for the JS to collect information which complement the record, the information, the data we get from the monitoring and the reporting of the project. In this way, we can share a common view on the state of play of your project. Then during the midterm review, or better, the midterm review is a mean to assess your capacity to achieve the project objective after the midterm. So maybe the midterm will be the first part of the project can be characterized by some problems also in spending and so on. And this is the occasion to assess that effectively you are capable to carry out the project till the end. And then very important, through the midterm review, the program and you were able to identify deviation and modification. And this is a way to ensure a close engagement of all project partners. The JS as outcome will provide feedback for you, will provide guidance, will provide recommendation if it is the case. And if it is the case, remember that additional follow-up action could be set in place. And this lead to a very important, it is written in a bigger character and in bold and in red. Remember, be aware that in case of low financial performance, the program, I mean, decision of the monitoring committee, reserve the right to decommit the project budget, your project budget. So you're at risk that the program will apply reductions. So from that, you can see how the midterm review is important for the consequences and for the contact with the program in order to be aware of your real situation. Because sometimes the program, the JS in particular, has not sufficient enough information, has not the real feeling of what the project is doing, how the project is doing, and this will be the means to take care, to solve, to fix the eventual problems, issues. Then we said that the midterm review will complement the monitoring and the reporting phase. Reporting phase is very important because it is the official way in which the partners, the project report to the program the situation. It starts with the partner, single partner report. Each partner and the lead partner, of course, compiles the progress report, which is made of two parts. One related to the progress of activities, and the second is connected to the expenditure made to make this progress. It can happen that happened in the past and will happen in the future that a partner has done activities but no expenditure to submit. In this case, the partner report is mandatory in any case. And the difference is that there is no need, of course, to submit the partner report to the controllers in case no expenditure are present. But I repeat once more time, all partners, although not having expenditure in the programming period, in 6 months of the programming period, must compile the partner report. Then the controller will certify the eligibility of the expenditure and certify the partner report, can confirm your expenditure, can cut the expenditure if some are eligible, and so on. After that, I mean, in presence of certified partner, each partner must submit the report to the lead partner, to you. This partner report will be an input for them to prepare the project report and to submit the project report to JS. The task of JS is to control, to check, of course, if it is all correct, if there are misunderstandings in how to compile, to fill the progress, if there are errors, if there are double counting, and so on. And so this clarification can take sometimes no more than 1 month, that we will see after that. Then then the lead partners will submit to the JS the updated version of the project report. The JS, we said, approve the project report, and starting from the approval of your project report, the managing authority will start the money side of the reporting. I mean, the transfer of fund to the lead partner, but we will see other specific case. And for the lead partner or the Italian partner to the entire partnership. Then we can change. Okay, so the timing is very simple, and there is a simplification. You lead partner, you have 2 months to submit the project report to the JS, and each partner has 15 days, both Croatian, both Italian, to submit to the controllers their report. Remember, 15 days. Then 1 month for the JS to clarify, and then 80 days of the managing authority to disburse the money, to make the payment. Okay. Then there are 3 cases as regards the reimbursement flow. In case the lead partner is Croatian, the managing authority will transfer all the European co-financing, and Croatian lead partner will transfer the European Regional Development Fund to all Italian and all Croatian partners. In case of the Italian national co-financings, the so-called fondo di rotazione, if a public Italian partner is present with the highest budget, if there are more, the managing authority will transfer the fondo di rotazione, national co-financing, to him, and he taking charge to transfer the fondo di rotazione to all the Italian partners. In case the Italian lead partners, in case lead partner is Croatian, but there are no public Italian partners, the managing authority will disburse the fondo di rotazione directly to each of the private Italian partners. And then the simplest, the plain case is that when the lead partner is Italian, both public and private, and the managing authority will transfer both European co-financing and Italian national co-financing to the Italian lead partner, who take in charge the transfer to all partnership. Then the last slide, project modification. There is a lot of novelties in the project modification. Project modification can regard the administrative aspect or minor adjustment of the work plan, which doesn't imply modification on result, output, and objective. And here it is the JS who will approve it. And as regards the budget modification, there are 2 sorts of flexibility. The first, which is very well known, the budget flexibility up to 20%, but which cannot involve shift between project partner, and it will be this time the managing authority to allow this flexibility from 20 to 40%. Then the monitoring committee is in charge only of modification which are above the 40%, including the shift among partners. Then we have changes in the partnership, which is very common and remain in the domain of the monitoring committee. Then we have a modification in the work plan with impact on project objective, output and result indicator, which is again in the domain, in the decision of the monitoring committee. But the managing authority can approve modification on the work plan without impact on the project objective, output, and the result indicator. And then, well, I skip the prolongation of the project duration because we hope that you will not need that. Your project will end next year, 24, and so it is all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angelo. Thank you. We will now go to the financial issues. We have seen in the chat that there are already some questions. Just to remind you that we will reply to the questions just after this session, the financial presentation, and we will reply to both the section of project management and financial.
Good morning, everybody. So from my side, I'm Marco Bopolizio. I'm financial officer at the JS. I would like to provide you with some basic information on eligibility of the costs and also some practical tips for the project implementation. Now, just let me start by underlining that the guiding principle striving for sound financial management, we recommend you to take into consideration for the budget preparation, for the project preparation phase, are even more important during the implementation phase. Why? Because we have public money are involved and these should be spent wisely. So what do we mean? How a project can be considered successful also from the financial management point of view? First of all, a project for us is successful when the budget is spent to carry out the activities as described in the approved application form, to deliver the outputs, the expected outputs of your application form, and to achieve the intended results. So for that, this is the main principle to take into consideration. Of course, all in line with the eligibility rules and principles. While going through this process, you may also have savings, which is also important to in line with the principle of economy. And in the end, as underlined by my previous colleagues, what we would like to point out is also of utmost importance to timely absorb the all allocated budget per project and per partner, not only to avoid possible decommitment, but to make efficient use of these public funds and resources. So, shift. Okay, let's have a look at the different timing of implementation. Now, all your projects already started either in July, either August or September, we saw it. So it's important to understand what is included in terms of eligibility of cost. The preparation phase is over. Now, the preparation costs are due for the preparation and submission of the application form, and the contracting phase is also included on that. This will be reimbursed through a lump sum per project of an amount of 2,300 euros per project on the basis of what you decide in your application form. Usually transfer to lead partner, but you might have decided differently, so to other partners. And on that basis, the reimbursement will take place with the preparation of the first project report, so during that phase. And this preparation lump sum, I said, and under two conditions. And the first one, that the preparation cost should be foreseen in the application form first. The second one, triggering the payments, is the signature of the subsidy contract. The subsidy contract is also the key basic document, the legal document, providing the starting and ending date of your project. So for the project implementation costs, there should be within that period as defined as subsidy contract. In the end, at the project, for the project closure, you will have also the possibility to have the cost reimbursed through a lump sum for the preparation and of the final reporting project report, sorry. And this will be covered by a lump sum of 2,000 euro per partner, not per project. Okay, now let's have a look at the budgeting options you choose during the preparation cost. What you choose during the preparation period cannot be changed during the implementation. So either you may opt for option number one, where you have the staff reimbursed as a real cost basis, and on the top of that, 40% flat apply on what of the eligible reported cost of the staff. Or you have may opted for option number one, so where you have the staff cost reimbursed as a 20% flat on other direct costs, meaning external expertise and services costs for small scale projects, and the 50% will be of the office and administrative costs will be reimbursed of what reported for staff, and the 50% flat on travel accommodation of what reported for staff. Or the third option, option number three, where you have staff costs reimbursed on a real cost basis, and both office and travel reimbursed as a 50% flat on what reported for staff, and external expertise and services on a real cost basis as well. The staff costs are including all the salary payments plus any other costs directly linked to salary payments, which are incurred and paid by the employer, such as the employment taxes and social security, including pensions, provided there are foreseen in the employment documents in line with the national legislation and not recoverable. You might have two possibilities to have those reimbursed as a real or flat 20%, as said, and the choose reimbursement options applies to all staff members of the beneficiary, and it cannot be changed during the whole project implementation. For the staff reimbursement on a real cost basis, let's have a look at calculation. You might choose the first option to have the full-time, the person allocated full-time in the project. So you will have the total gross employment cost reimbursed. Let's say that the total monthly salary cost is 3,000 euros. You will have 3,000 euros reimbursed totally by the program because the person is working 100% just for the project. Or the example number 1B, where you have a staff working on a fixed percentage on the project. So the total monthly salary cost is applied to the fixed percentage of time worked per month. Let's say 60%. If eligible cost per month is 3,000 per 60%, you will get the result 1,800 reimbursed. But where those where do this percentage came from? So we expect that the basic information on the projects, such as the project name, the acronym, the partner name, and the name of the employee as well, are already included in the employment document, which is setting out so the percentage of the time worked on the project, either full-time or with another percentage, and the job description. It might well be the case that you start the implementation phase, you hire a person to work just 100% for the project. So all these details we expect that are already in the deployment documents. While it can be also the case that you need to allocate some stuff that you already have at disposal to a given project of us, In that case, you will need an assignment document, which is specifying which is the percentage of time spent on the project, and also the job description. What is the person doing for that specific Italy-Croatia cross-border project? Of course, for the documents, for the supporting document, the audit trail, also the pay slips should be provided to the controller, and other documents of equivalent probative value, which allow the proof of payment of this gross employment cost. It can be an extract from a reliable accounting system or a confirmation of a tax authority, a bank statement. Okay. Now, we provided a template for the assignment document, which can be downloaded in our project website under the project implementation document. As you can see, it's not binding template, so it's providing the basic information we expect to have in this assignment document or in deployment document already. So you will have to provide the name of an employee, a little details on the task which is carrying out, all the details of project title, ID, and like that. We expect that for each staff member, an assignment document is issued for already at the beginning of the implementation phase. The percentage fixed on that ideally cannot be changed during the implementation period, but can be revised. If the assignment document is revised, the tasks are revised, the percentage can be revised accordingly. We strongly recommend not to revise within the same reporting period to ease the cost certification and the reimbursement flow. And this is also a template in our official language, English, but it can be also translated into your national language. You will have details information when you download the template, page number 1. You have instruction how to fill it in case of need. Now let's come to office administrative costs reimbursed as a flat. We said either is a 40% reimbursement or part of 40% flat on the basis of the option you choose. The list of items included in the office administrative cost is exhaustive. You can find it in our program implementation manual. It's important to know what is inside, what is covered in that, because the same item should not be reimbursed under other cost categories. Otherwise, we will have a double funding. You cannot reimburse items of office and administrative cost under external expertise, for instance. And pay attention that as reimbursed as a flat of the staff, what you reported for start, in case of some staff costs are found to be ineligible, automatically this will decrease the office and administrative flat rate. Accordingly, is decreased. The same principle applies for travel and accommodation costs reimbursed on a flat. On what you reported for the staff. Also here the list is exhaustive, and it's made up of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. You can find it in the program implementation manual. For the supporting documents, in case of flat rates, in case of staff reimbursed as a 20% flat of direct cost other than staff, you may need only to issue a self-declaration certifying that the employee of the beneficiary have worked in this project. This self-declaration is provided only at the beginning of the project, meaning during the first reporting period. Will not be asking for self-declaration for each reporting period. It may be asked later on during implementation, but you should issue it at the first reporting period, and then later on it might be asked, but that's the only requirement for the flat rate. For office and travel and reimbursed as a flat, no documentation needs to be provided to the controller out of that, because those are calculated on the direct costs. So the documentation of real costs will be requested for other cost categories used as a basis for the flat rate calculation. External expertise or staff if reimbursed on a real cost basis. Coming to external expertise and services, also there is a list of items covered under this budget cost category in our PIM. And these basically refer to all specific expertise and services which are needed for your project to implement the project. When reported on a real cost basis, you have provided already details on the application form. Thank you very much for that. So it's very clear what you are going to, which is the external expertise and service you need for your project. It was assessed by the project manager, and so this should be foreseen in the application form as part, or can be reimbursed as you choose that option as part of 40% flat of the direct cost. Keep in mind the procurement procedure that might be applicable to that. In particular, the program procurement procedure for contracts of an amount above 10,000 euros excluding VAT. We recommend to have a bid of free in case of this procurement, but it's a recommendation, so other meaning can be also used as well. I was already stressing a lot the fact that it's important to provide an adequate audit trail. What is that? Is a set of accounting records which are giving evidence of the steps you undertake during the project implementation. And with an adequate audit trail, where is adequate? When you are able to retrace any given step incurred at any given time. So the documentation should be available at any given time, either in electronic format, uploaded in GEMS, or if you have originals of contracts and other important documents in your archive at the premises of the beneficiaries. And already during the startup phase, it's very important that the beneficiary establish an adequate arrangement for ensuring either a separate accounting system or an adequate accounting code specific for the project. We should be able to retrace, we and the controllers and anybody involved in this project, to retrace any given money that was spent for the project to implement the project activities with this archive. And I would like to stress in the end the importance for all invoices and other documents of equivalent probative value in paper or electronic format to have a clear indication that the expenditure pertains to the program. Should be visible either in the body or subject of the document. We provide some example that the expenditure has been co-funded by Interreg Italy-Croatia program, the number and name of the project, the amount of the expenditure claim within that invoice is not 100% how much of that is traced, and also is important to take into consideration the CUP, the Codice Unico per il Progetto. All the partners, Italian partners involved for that, received a communication from the managing authority, the communication of 18th of September, and please follow those instructions closely and have the CUP mentioned in all those important documents, invoices and other documents of equal probative value. Just a few words to conclude on national contract system. We have two different systems. In Croatia, centralized system, where the body in charge is the Ministry of Regional Development and Funds. The controllers there are provided at national level, therefore, and they are free of charge. While in Italy, there is a decentralized system in place. The controllers are appointed according to requirements set at national level, and they can be either internal or external. In case of external controller, as mentioned in the PIM, those costs should be reported under external expertise and services cost category. And a novelty of this programming period is that at least in principle, not 100% of the costs will be checked and controlled by your first level control, let's call it controllers now, at least in principle, unless necessary, because the management verification, the verification of the costs, are performed on a risk-based. And the JS, in close cooperation with the managing authorities, now working to provide a set of common applicable details for both countries, despite the different system, for the beneficiaries, for the controller to perform those checks to assure the equal treatment of beneficiaries. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
May I start? Hi, my name is Lovro Jurisic. I'm working JS antenna in Zadar. And before I start, I want to make sure that you realize that we have a published project implementation in GEMS starting manual on our site, and everything you see in the presentation is much more clearly explained in the manual. So when you first enter GEMS, you will see your name as mine is now present. Welcome, Lovro Jurisic. And in my applications, you will see the application you are meant to work in. You click on it, then we go to the next slide.
Lovro, we can hear you.
Oh, Madai. Did you not hear me at all? At all? Vele, sve smo čuli. Kako sam?
Yeah.
Evo, Tea hears. Who cannot hear me? Everybody else can hear me.
I can hear you, Lovro.
I can hear as well.
Loredana, can you hear me now? Everybody else heard me before. Kako ćemo sad ovo?
Try now, Lovro, sorry.
Everybody else heard me. Do you hear me now? Oh,
yes.
Okay, so next slide, please.
Sorry, can you repeat everything because we lost
But
you
everybody else heard me. Do you think it's necessary? I can. Okay. Good afternoon. Let's go to the presentation. Good. Full screen. Okay, I'll repeat. So, can I have full? Okay, my name is Lovro Jurisic. As you see on this screen, I work for JS Antenna in Zadar. Before I start, I want to make sure that you understand that all of this information that you will hear from my presentation is already explained in much more detail and much more clearly inside the implementation manual that is already uploaded on our website. When you enter GEMS for the first time, you will see your name on the top of the screen, just as you see mine here now. And then you will, under my applications, you will see your project, and then you click on it. Next slide, please. Next slide. Što me stvarno ne čuje? Next slide. Next slide. Okay. So when you go to the next slide, you will see your entire project. But now let's just focus on the left-hand side of the screen where there is a project overview. Under project overview, you will see all parts of your project. But for this presentation, we are only focusing on contracting, which includes contracts and agreements.
Sorry, Lovro, just stop 1 second, please.
Everybody
else.
We
have some problems.
A oni na recordingu me ne čuju, to je problem. A znam.
Sorry, I think we can hear it now.
Okay, I guess it's for the recording. It's important that you hear me also. Yeah. Okay, so contracting has several sections, which I will explain later on. Partner details is among them. Lead partner has access to contracting and partner, but partner only has access to partner details. But in order for partner to have all access where it has to have, project privileges section is very important, and lead partner has access to it. So let's move on to the next slide to explain project privileges. So you click on the project privileges section, and then next slide. So application form user uses this section to manage access rights, and also lead partner user uses the same section. But in order for the lead partner user to have this access, first application form user has to give him this access. So let's move on to the next slide. So this on the left-hand side of the screen, you see two boxes, let's say. So one is where the application form user is present, and the bottom one is where the lead partner user is present. At the start of the project, application form user is the one who drafted the application. If this user is still the same, who will be the lead partner user, then he will put his own email address also in the lead partner section. If not, then we will have two application form users and two lead partner users. The important thing is that the lead partner user is the same person that is indicated in the application form under contact person. We can go to the next slide now. No. Let's go back, please. And yeah, we have to go back. A preskočila mi je. Okay, ne, ja mislim da ako me ne čuje da... I don't know how to proceed now. Okay, the important thing is currently probably not all the users that need to be registered in GEMS are registered. So all of you need to ask for an account, and you need to use the official institutional address. When the lead partner user is all set to use the system, then he gives project privileges on the partner level by indicating the project partner user's email address in the project partner section. This section these all sections are under project privileges, so we have not exited project privileges at all. We can move on. I will answer all your questions and answers if we are still having audio issues. This is for registering new users. So you request credentials from the platform, you get an automatic email, and then you activate your own account. If you used an institutional address, everything will be okay. If you probably used a Gmail user or something like that, we will probably inactivate your account and ask you to use a proper email address and then activate you again. You have to communicate your address as a project partner to lead partner in order for the lead partner to add you to the project privileges section of the project partner. Next slide. We can go next. Okay, so now we go to the contracting section, other parts. So we have contracts and agreements, project managers, project reporting schedule, and partner details. Lead partner user has access to all these subcategories, but project partner has access only to partner details. Once all of this is finished, it will be locked. And then for it to be unlocked, the lead partner will have to request it from the JS from the following email address on the screen. We can go, and also in this section, you can upload attachments, which is important, which we will see on the next slide. Okay, so in the contracts and agreements section, lead partner user must enter the project's website address and the date of entry into force of the partnership agreement. And he also uploads the partnership agreement under attachments. Program will, on the other hand, program will upload the subsidy contract, which has already been explained by Angelo before. We can move on.
In project managers, subsection of contracting, LP user just identifies the project management unit, which was also explained by Angelo before. So you just include names and contact details for project manager, finance manager, and communication manager. Okay, move on. The next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, this is only the overview slide, so I will not waste your time with it. You just see what here you see your whole schedule, time plan, outputs, everything is visible here. We can move on the next one, where there is something to be written. So partner details. LP user and all PP users must in this section indicate their legal representatives. That is ultimate beneficial owner, in other words, is your legal representative. So each user does it for himself. So LP user does it for his own legal representative, and PP user does it for his representative. Also, bank details are also entered separately. So LP user enters his own bank details, and PP users enter their own bank details. That's why it was important for LP users to give proper project privileges to all PP users. And in case of any further changes, you need to request changes by email to the email address shown here. Next slide. And this is the final slide. You have to also put the physical location of the documents inside GEMS. So this is in line with proper audit, keeping a proper audit trail and everything. So it's possible for control bodies to locate the physical documents whenever they are needed. Sorry for the technical difficulty.
Question and answer. So please reconnect and we will start from the questions that were included in the chat so far. Okay, so the first question regards if there is a template for quality management plan. So Angelo, could you please reply?
You think that the quality management is not put the content in a specific document. No, I would like to say that it is more than an approach. The project should take quality management in order to ensure consistency and coherence of the information and content of a deliverable. This is a quotation from the program implementation manual, which I suggest to read carefully. In any case, no template about quality management.
Okay, thank you, Angelo. Please let us know if that's enough, that is clarified. Second question regards the need for a stamp on the project document, especially on the invoices. Marco?
That we, as indicated in the program implementation manual, it's a matter of which are the original documents. Nowadays, all original are almost electronic documents, so we would like to have all the details in these original. When you issue the electronic invoice, you can mention of course, a clear indication that the expenditure pertains to the program, to the which is the project, and the amount that is charged to the project. If you have all those information included in the electronic invoice as well, this is clearly traceable, and it's enough then for the reporting phase. Then we have a question, explain again the part of Italian controllers. Do Italian partners have to make some changes in their budgets in order to pay for their controllers or not? Well, this is strictly in line with the previous programming period. I mean, usually in Italy, you have external controller. In case of external controller, this should be charged and it should be budgeted in the project budget as well. So yes, in case you have an external controller at national level, for Italy, sorry, this should be charged to the project and can be reimbursed. Okay.
Okay. So again, let us know if that's clear enough, or if you have still some other doubts. Then we have another question regarding the project management unit. Beneficiary asked if there is the need to for all the people to be from the lead partner or also from all the other project partners. Angelo?
The task in charge of the lead partner is to set up this project management unit, and this is the necessary, the basic requirement. So the project need to have these three figures. Then it is up to the partnership to decide to set up, to have expert, etc. But the task is related to the establishment of one unit in which project manager, communication manager, and financial manager are present.
Okay, thank you, Angelo. Marco, if you want to again specify, there was just a confirmation about the stamp.
We mean stamp of the controller, which is a null in the cost, in that sense. Now, for the national control system, we are expecting more information to come mid-October, and along with the managing authority will provide all the details of the national system at the national level. For that, I will say, okay, if the controller would like to proceed again with this, it's a very good practice for that. But as indicated in the PIN, when you issue the invoice, you shouldn't wait for the controller to annul the document, but the invoice should already have all the necessary documents, indication that is the cost is clearly pertinent and allocated to the project in that sense. The list of documents in paper folder.
Could be probative value. So it really depends on the system where you work and how it is organized in terms of electronic documents. So that we cannot make a list of paper format documents in this sense. Okay, so I think we already provided information about this, let's say the different approach to also to stamp on the documents. Of course, in case you have other doubts on that, you can contact the financial unit in the next weeks. Now I would like to leave the floor to the communication colleagues. They will provide you some information and overview on the activities. So Thea, if you want to start, and then the other colleagues will follow. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Silvia. Yes, I can start. Good morning again to everybody. Now, as Silvia said, we would like to introduce you to the communication part and speak of today of these elements that are listed here, as you can see on the screen. I would introduce you to the European framework and the program framework, and I will tell you something more about these key elements that are mandatory for the communication in the projects. So we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so there are several documents that okay, sorry, because I see the chat that is going under and that it's covering my presentation. So regarding the framework that regulates the communication, we have EU framework and then also the program documents that set up the rules for the communication, both of managing authorities and of course of new partnerships and beneficiaries of European funds. Besides of regulation 1060 from 2021, that is CPR, provision regulation, that refers to Article 50. In particular, we have also the regulation that is that sets Interreg-specific provisions that is here indicated as Article 36 that provides some technical indications on what the beneficiaries and project partners should comply with when communicating the European funding. And then we have also the program documents that speak about implementation that set the rules that you should have in mind and you should respect when you implement your project, that it's one Interreg project. In particular, we have so-called PIM, Program Implementation Manual, the chapter 4 that I think that you all know because you have it also on our website of the program. And we have as a program, by this moment, elaborated the program brand book, and the same will be done also for the projects together with communication tools that are in delivery. So these are the basics, and we can move forward with the slide. I will be very quick. Okay, so you all know because you are super skilled and experienced. If not, that this European Communication Action, how can I say, concerns both the European programs and the European projects, as well as the management and the technical activities and the monitoring that we are performing. So we can move to the next slide. Okay, so besides of the regulation, what is important to underline in a more communicative manner is that we all need to give the message that you provide the benefits to the territories thanks to the financement that you're receiving from European Union. So this is really important, and this should be your leitmotiv when you communicate the project activities, the performances, and achievements. So I have indicated also here that there is no mention to the fund in this programming period in particular. This is a new rule for the communication, basically, and the purpose of this decision was to concentrate our efforts and both of the programs and of the projects to communicate the European funding instead of European fund as it was before, like we always had these ERDF or ESF, etc., etc. Now we have also this point integrated in individuals, as you can as you can see, and as you have had the opportunity to see from the previous slide of, also. There is this rule is integrated also in the logo of the program and in the logo of the projects, where you have only co-financed by European Union and not mentioned anymore to the fund. We can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so as we said before, that was our biggest aim and the highlight of the communication that we need to always have in mind. But the communication is a mandatory activity both on the programs and on the projects. And that is something that is set by the regulations, as we said before. And our purpose also is that we attract the attention of the public and that we promote the project. But because you see these words that are listed here, that I listed here, are not a reference to the regulation, but is something that is a little bit more said in more communicative way. So at least I tried to do it like that. We want to explain our projects and you to relevant target groups, of course, because you want to involve these target groups in activities of the project, and you want to disseminate the project results and good practices that you put in place. So this is the communication, of course, is a means to do that. And by communicating your project activities and results, and so also you have the opportunity to earn credibility and to build a good reputation also for your organizations and for your project. We can move forward with slides. Okay. Communication within the project in this programming period is of course internal, because you need to ensure that there is a good communication flow among your project partners, because you will, and this is something that maybe can sound like obvious, but it's not, because it takes a lot of efforts and engagement of the communication manager that is appointed by the project itself to collect and gather all the information, all the activities that are taking place also locally on project partners levels, to be aware of everything that is going on, and to be able then to communicate all the actions that and all the events and all the things that are taking place on the territories as one. So please try to ensure this this internal communication works, because it will be really important for your overall communication on the project. And this is what I ask in particular to communication managers. As you have had the opportunity to see while you were drafting your project application, in this programming period, there is no specific work package that before was called Work Package 2, dedicated just for the communication and for the drafting all the items also. But now you have you needed to include the communication specifically in all the thematical work packages, so that this is the basic difference. And what about implementation? It remains pretty much the same, because you need to communicate properly all the activities and all the phases of implementation in your thematical work packages, so that it's so this way the communication is not the purpose of itself. You show that for each specific thematical activity that you are performing in your project, how do you communicate and which kind of deliverables you produce for this this activity of communication. So we can move forward, please. Okay, just a second. Here I wanted to I wanted to just remind you about the minimum requirements for your communication in this programming period, that stand for the project poster, as it was for the previous programming period, the same. Minimum A3 size at the location readily visible to the public, and that is for all project partners. Something that I did not include here, but I would like to say that in this programming period, there is an equivalent of also electronical display that can be used for this purpose. Then you need to organize a kickoff meeting as a startup activity, where you will meet with your projects and you will present also in a communicative manner your project to the public, and possibly involve media and so on, communicate. And what else is foreseen is that you publish on institutional websites of your partners organization short description of the operation. When we say operation, we mean project. So on each of the websites of each of the partners that are composing your partnership, you should publish when the project starts, and I hope that you have already done that. If not, please do so. That you highlight briefly, describe the project that you're going to implement, also in your native language it can be, and that you highlight the union funding. Okay, this is also important. So another thing that is mandatory is that you regularly feed your project website that will be available on the program web platform or website that it's going to be delivered soon. And the last thing, that you organize 2 high-level events on your project. When we say high-level events, that then we mean events that involve relevant policymakers, that involve bigger audience, important audience in terms of your target groups foreseen by the project. So we can move forward. Okay, thank you. Other things that we wanted to say that I would like to underline is that according to PIM and according to the regulation, you need to use your project logo that will be delivered for all communication activities. So printed materials, or during your events, or on any digital any digital supportings. Okay, that you have that you ensure this communication of project, that you're active and participate in also in program communication. Also follow us on social media, that we can interact together. The communication on social media means that this, and we wanted to specify that it's not mandatory that you open the channels, specific project channels on social media, but that you produce constantly the content for the communicating of your project, both on social media and on the website, that you can reuse, that it's friendly and that it's communicative, and it keeps you constantly, that keeps your target groups constantly involved and informed. Also, we asked from your projects, small scale projects, to prepare the editorial plan of your publishings. And for this, we have provided the template that was elaborated by us, and that we used also on 1420 period. We can move forward. And okay, what else are we expecting from you is that during the project lifetime, you can participate on any program events that the program is going to organize when you are requested. And also that you may participate on other events and initiatives that are organized by other European institutions, like European Week of Regions and Cities. Sometimes, for example, last year, the program was involved on EU Week of Regions and Cities with some projects, or the projects were sometimes are involved by, maybe not directly with some interventions, but are required to send us some details, some contents, some materials, or something that is useful for us to create some communication product or some speech. So this is kind of collaboration we ask from you. Also, other potential events where you can promote your projects is the European Cooperation Day, RegioStars initiative of the Commission that is taking place every year, and that awards the most advanced and the most and best projects in Europe among all the projects that are financed by European Union funds. And what else we require from you is that as today you can participate in seminars, or when we organize some trainings for some specific groups of maybe financial or communication and so on. And of course, if there are any thematic events organized by also other European territorial cooperation programs that you can take place and be involved, and to reinforce and create synergies. In any case, on all of these issues, you will be informed in a due time, but it is only a reminder for you that it can happen, and you can be required. So we expect from you to react and to collaborate. For projects, that was not a problem. I mean, we collaborated really nicely with the projects that were financed by the program also in 1420. So this is a very interesting part of our work. Okay, we can move forward. Okay, thank you a lot. So I think that with these slides, two last slides, that I will close my intervention. So we have indicated and we have suggested in program implementation manual which kind of characteristics should have the communication manager that is designated, appointed by the projects, and which are the tasks that this person should obtain. So here is listed, this person, of course, prepares the editorial plan. all of these things are shared and agreed with the partners, but somebody needs to prepare a draft, think of things, and also to prepare it, it needs to be shared. So before and after. And the person will act as a website content manager. So it means that the person will be responsible for editing and drafting the information on your project publicly, and also on your website, which is also part of the program website. So it's an institutional website, it's a home to your project. So it needs to be written nicely in a communicative manner, and the person should know how to work on web, how to edit, and how to communicate efficiently. Also, the communication manager of your project should ensure that all the partners have read and understood the project brand manual when we deliver it to you, when we publish it, and which are the procedures. For example, it happened during the 14-20 period that the partners separately contact me for some consultations on some issues related to visibility or the rules of placing the logo. So there are some cases when this is really needed, so we can find the common solution. But basically, it's not upon JS or the program communication manager, case me on 14-20, that this kind of materials are approved by us, because in order to facilitate you, in order to give you these permanent rules, we have the brand book that sets out all of these rules that are necessary for the correct application of logo and all other visibility elements. So the other thing is that the cooperation with the JS on communication issues will take place the most frequently and mainly with the communication manager, because when we write to the projects, we tend to put also the lead partner in the copy. But so if we have something very specific relating to the communication, we always exchange with the project communication managers. So I think this is it. I don't know if we have any other slide. If you okay. I think I
Thank you so much, Tara. Unfortunately, here we still have some issues.
Okay, thank you for your attention, and I'm available to any question from the side of beneficiaries.
So maybe I can continue.
Renata?
Yes, thank you. So, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all today. I'm glad to have the opportunity to present you the program website, its functionalities, and to outline the further joint efforts that we have to do together to launch your project website. So, first of all, why website? It is the most important part of your online presence. You should know that your project website serves as a central repository, hub of information regarding project activities and your outcomes. It also ensures easy access to your results, to deliverables, and we can consider it as a primary communication channel for your communication with your audience. Additionally, the program relies on your website because we will thus continually monitor and evaluate the whole implementation and the progress of implementation. So not just when you report your activities and expenditures, but throughout the whole implementation period. So therefore, it is essential to always bear in mind that your website represents your project to both your target group and also to the program. It's also important to stress here the difference between the purpose of the reporting documents that you will upload in GEMS within your 6-month reports, as my colleagues already mentioned, and the documents that you are going to publish on the project websites. So the format of these documents and the language of reporting documents are different from the content that you publish on the website. So GEMS and the website are not the same. The target groups of your website is much broader, and thus you should adjust the format and the language of your deliverables accordingly. I think, here you can see on the left the screenshot of the program landing page. So it is divided into 2 sections. The first one on the left is dedicated to the previous programming period. There you can still access results and other relevant content for possible capitalization of your project. But the other section, which is highlighted here in yellow, is the current programming period. We really hope that you are already well informed about the program website. It serves as a framework for the program and your project websites. On the right, you can see the program website homepage. So once you click on the current 21-27 programming period, you land here on program website homepage. And we highlighted here 2 sections where your projects will contribute with with the websites and your content of your websites. So discover project and news and events section. Discover project is not yet displayed since we didn't launch your project websites, but news and events section is active and serves as one, and in the future it will also serve as a shared platform for all projects and for the program. So both projects and the program will post in this section relevant information about important news and events and other activities in this section. I will show you now existing events section of the program website to help you to understand how your project events will be presented there. So this is on my next slide. Okay, here you can see the screenshot again, but you can also go to the program website and directly access this section to see that this information has already been published. While we are still waiting for the launching of your project website, the program can publish this information on your behalf. So the first project activity was a kickoff meeting, and some of them are already published on the website. Here on the left, you can find details about 2 kickoff events for Sfera project and Create project. Clicking on the Read More button, you can see more information and find the agenda in the document section. So on the right is displayed how it looked like. Have to stress out that this content is searchable using the search box as it is indicated in the calendar that you can see here on the left. So we have currently published information about only a few, I think 5 something project events, the kickoff meetings, and I'd like to take this opportunity to invite all other projects to send us the agenda and other information you want to publish here in this section. We will ensure the publication of also the past events, so we have a record of all your activities on our website. Next slide, please. Okay. I showed you before the Discover project section, which we can't access yet on the program website, but here the slide presents a test page that has not yet been published, but I'm showing you it's to you just to better understand this relationship between program and project website. So once you will click on this section, and you will find a list of project websites you can access on the one you are interested in. On the left, there is a search box also where you will be able to refine your search based on specific criteria, such as you can see, geographic area or priority, or etc. Once all project websites are added, they will be displayed in this section. Additionally, on the partners map, which is here on the right on the screenshot, you can see partners map. You will be able to navigate through projects based on the geographical position of the partners. Similar features was also able in the previous programming period. Okay, so let's go to next slide and conclude this presentation with an overview of the current status and the upcoming steps. Here you can see the expected workflow steps that we need to reach our common goal, which is to enable you to manage your websites independently. As you probably know, we have already initiated the process of gathering the information from lead partners. We would like to establish the initial structure of the project website, which is the first step, actually. We are currently in process of reviewing this information, and we will reach out the lead partners or communication managers if any further clarification is required. We expect to start with this production phase at the beginning of October, and during the October the production will go on, and we will be in contact. Next step, we will request specific details about your designated website manager, so we can grant the access to the back office of the project website. Then, once we have all the contacts and we know who are communication managers or website managers on behalf of your projects, we will organize training sessions for them to develop essential skills and the knowledge that are required for website maintenance. Lastly, your project website will be launched and regularly updated, allowing you to inform and engage with your stakeholders. As you can see, in the upcoming period, we will work together intensively. In conclusion, I just want to emphasize that the program will provide continuous support throughout the entire implementation. The support and the collaboration, we hope that it will ensure effectiveness of your communication activities. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Renata, for your presentation. Now we will continue with the last part of the presentation on communication with Cristina, who will also give you some timing on the communication tools. Let me put it bigger, maybe. Okay. No, okay. Okay. So, hello, anyone. I'm Cristina Valentini. I'm also communication officer and working in the communication unit. So, sorry again for all this. You know our connection. So you've heard a lot about why you communicate, and we'll have project news, project events, other project activities, and project deliverables. Depending on what you communicate to whom, it is crucial to keep in mind your target, because you will adapt your communication style and your communication language, of course. So there will be one register if you publish project deliverables, of course, but a totally different language and style and so forth if you go to news and events, and if you, of course, using digital media. And how, again, you will use mainly digital communication tools, but not just. So there will also be printed materials, and then you communicate through project events and through press conferences. As far as press conferences are concerned, we already heard that on some of the first kickoff meetings, which were already held in September, there have been press conferences. Keep in mind, a suggestion is to check the feedback. So if any article or any other media issue has been published following to the press conference, and particularly keep your media contacts, because they will form your small, let's say, mailing list. And this is very good, because if they hear from you on the first time, then they will probably and hopefully be curious to know more about the project, how it is evolving, what results, which are outputs, and so forth. Okay, next one, please. Thank you. Oh, can I do it myself? Sorry. Okay, so one basic thing is visual identity. It is very important. Also deal with templates. Keep in mind, templates are not mandatory, not binding, but of course they will help you show your visual identity. So templates will regard PPTs, billboard and plaque, the real deliverables, so basically a document, and posters. So all this you will receive by the end of October. As far as digital communication, your main tools, as you already heard from Thea and Renata, are project websites and social media. Project websites, of course, you heard it already, they work as repository and information hub. Social media, on the other side, are key for disseminating information, but also interacting, and are good, of course, networking tools. Everybody knows it. As I think Thea or Renata already mentioned, social media are not mandatory, but of course we strongly suggest to use at least to open a Facebook channel to interact with us, and also with the whole program community, actually, because this is a key issue. And let's go to how to organize communication. We already published this basic instrument, which is our digital editorial plan. How to use this? This is a very useful instrument, a very useful tool, because it really allows you to get going. So as you can see, there is a planning phase where you have to be able to organize, to foresee all your issues, all the news events and deliverables, so when they are coming out, on which communication channel you want to publish them, who's the person in charge of it. And then you go to the implementing phase. What does this mean? Of course, you will have your project communication manager writing the copy. Copy, we mean the content, the text. The text has to be careful, because it has to be adapted to the media you're using. So it will be longer for the website, a little bit shorter for social media. Of course, well, actually Facebook leaves a lot, quite, sufficient space, but still it has to be short. Post type, for post type, we mean the kind of image, so a card, for instance, that we publish together with the content, or a possible short video. Of course, URL, if there is any link. This is very important, because you always publish your news on the website before, and then you create a short link to that news, to that larger content, and you post it in your social media post. Okay, so this is very important, and hashtags, links, and so forth. These are all things we're going to when we will, of course, train you better on communication. Last but not least, the third phase of implementing a PED is checking feedbacks and to see if you are interacting well, performing well in terms of social media. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's it. So making communication work. About the form, we strongly suggest you to keep it short, keep it simple, make it clear. Of course, I'm talking about digital communication. I'm not talking about the deliverables, which have, as we have seen, other language, style, and register. Okay, but if you communicate, you also always have to keep in mind that you have to make clear what you communicate, to whom, why, when, where, and how. We will go back to it, but basically, if you have to tell people, let people know when an event is going to take place, of course, you have to go strictly to that event, and then you will make an add and description to that event and any possible information you want to add with links and so forth. This is just a quick wrap up of our timing. So as I said before, by October 13, we're going to be able to send you the project logos and the first part of the brand manual. By the end of the month, the complete brand manual and the project websites. In November, we will be able to send you also to organize some training on project websites, so how to upload and how to manage and use this instrument. And we will provide a basic website manual. And in December, we would also like to make some training on communication. So actually, all the things that I very quickly talked about today will be going in depth in December. So, and of course, the three of us of the communication team, we're always at your disposal for any doubt, suggestion, and whatever. One more thing, as Renata told you, as project websites are not online at the moment, until that time, we will take care of publishing your events and news. So please keep in mind to send us useful information, event agendas, and so forth. I mean, in time, of course, not just last minute, please, because it makes it difficult for us to manage everything. Last but not least, in October 17th, 18th, there will be one big final event of the previous programming period, 14-20, and you're all kindly invited to join us in Zadar. Costs will be covered within your project are foreseen. So if you'd like to join us to get to know each other, to start being part of the interacting Italy-Croatia community, feel free to come. Thank you. Thank you, Cristina. Thank you very much. Okay, so now Lada is providing some information about capitalization activities. So Lada, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and I think you can hear me now, Silvia. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Lada Vetrini, and I work at the JS dealing with capitalization. Can you share the presentation, Silvia?
Yeah.
Great. Thanks a lot. So why we are talking today about capitalization? Because the program wants to bring you closer to this concept, which is not new for the program, but it's considered very crucial for the period 21-27. And this central role has been confirmed also during the programming phase, to the extent that, as you can see in the slide, it was included in the program vision, in the vision of the program. This is a process that will be implemented with all finance Italy-Croatia projects throughout the programming period, with different degree of involvements of project. And so for us and for you, it's an ongoing process that actually builds on experience of the 14, no, the other slide, the slide before, please. Thank you. With the experience of 4020, which in which some experimental actions were implemented with the cluster and standard plus project. But the aim of this programming period is to go further, and we want to support you in this journey together, step by step. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is capitalization? Actually, there is no proper definition in EU regulation. So in the 2016, Interact, which is a program that supports programs, suggested a definition on capitalization, which should be a building process aiming at consolidating the capital built by Interreg project and programs, with different aims. One is to make these results more accessible and that way improving the transfer, to generate additional results building on existing knowledge, to promote and reuse the reuse and the transfer of the results in order to boost the performance, and also to raise awareness of the result in specific fields of regional policies. On the other side, the programs, the Interreg programs, develop their own definition and practices for a better consistency with their activities. And so did also the Italy-Croatia program. If you can move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. For the Italy-Croatia program, the key issue of a true capitalization is to make the results not only transferred, but also reused by other specific actors, not least to improve policies. So the program will support the projects in production, so in the production of the outputs, good to be capitalized, and will support also the promotion of their use following a demand-driven approach, which essentially is based on the demand of possible reusers. Next slide, please. If you could move on. Thank you. So capitalization plan of the program was approved by the monitoring committee last November, and it includes also the definition of the capitalization for the program. It covers all thematic activities, thus all priorities without differences. Capitalization is embedded in every stage of the program life cycle, so from calls to the reporting. It is closely linked to the communication and evaluation. It's not a case that this presentation is close to the communication one. These are two activities that are compulsory for the program, and those processes should nourish each other. Communication, so it will be really very important also for capitalization activity to make it more effective. And we will work together to make them interact, for example, by reinforcing the storytelling about your achievements. Then, in addition, the program decided not to limit the results that can be capitalized. Maybe you saw this in the co-announcement. We left open the possibility of capitalizing the results also achieved by the other projects and programs, by the other initiatives, yes. And finally, we will work in different steps involving with different intensities the projects. And we will firstly work on the offer side, and then on the demand side. Next slide, please. Next. Thanks. So you can see here the two phases. A small project with a short duration, we will work with you only on the production of the quality outputs, the left side of the slide, and the capitalization and their capitalization potential. We will work also with you on the organization of output libraries, catalogs, in order to increase the visibility of your results. And then from 2024, we will continue to support the production of outputs good for capitalization, but we will start to work also on the demand side, which, however, will not involve you. And therefore, we will improve also the program outputs library, which will be nourished by project results, as my colleague said before. We will work with possible users, also trying to facilitate the transfer and reuse also outside the program. We will, for that, participate also in networking communities at European and national level. Next slide, please. Now, just really a quick overview, because we are running out of time, on terminology, because we want to start from the same page, so to have a common understanding. First of all, we have to identify who are the key implementers of capitalization, meaning the offer side and the demand side. So one side, the offer side, we call them givers. So there are those who produce the output and are willing to promote and share these results with other projects and stakeholders. The other side is the demand side, and we call them takers. These are the stakeholders that could be interested by these results in order to improve, for instance, their tool practices or public policies. They can be, for instance, at any regional, national, international level, or they can be other project partner or external partner. Next slide, please. Yes. Regarding the outputs, so how we consider the outputs in capitalization. Output could be the output that could be capitalized, they could be replicable, meaning being directly transferable in another context, and therefore without the need of being adapted. So taken and reused by stakeholder of the program, by other stakeholders. For instance, some procedures that are standardized and can be easily transferred in other contexts and be reused without any adaptation. But an output could also be reusable, which means that has a potential to be reused, but after being adapted to other needs. So in this case, the adaptation implies also an analysis, which can be time-consuming, energy-consuming. So it is very important for takers to understand whether it is worth to capitalize that outputs. And here I want to highlight again the importance of a clear library of your results. Next slide, please. Okay. Here we talking about the transfer, which can be operational, for instance, toward other projects that can reuse the result, or a strategic transfer when the result is used to improve policies. In this case, of course, the transfer implies the participation of the stakeholder relevant at policy level. And without them, it's not possible also to mainstreaming the results. Next slide, please. Okay, so as I said before, not all the outputs are good to be capitalized. There is not a definition of the output good to be capitalized. So in practice, it is necessary to analyze each output and to understand if it's potentially good for capitalization. So the program identified some criteria to understand whether the output can be potentially capitalized or not. I will go quickly through them. The first one is the coherence with the priorities of the program, 21-27, is the output is consistent with the priorities set by the program. The second is if is a successful and validated solution, if it has been tested and validated previously in a real operational condition. If it is innovative, if it has added value compared to the existing tools and practices, for instance. Next slide, please. The fourth is if it is a ready solution. So if there are documents, reports, description, technical tools related to the output that are available and easily accessible for those who want to use these outputs. Basically, the output can be directly reused without any adaptation because the documents are available. For instance, technical documents related to methodology or description or some processor for applying the output, which is not always what we found in the reports and the deliverables. Then, if the output is transferable, if it's a transferable solution, if it can be easy transferable to other contexts, taking into account, for instance, if there are regulatory, administrative, or institutional constraints, such, for instance, authorization. And finally, the last one is the availability of giver. So are the partner who develop these outputs available also in terms of time, because it's a time-consuming activity to share their experience and contribute to capitalization and to the transfer process. So we will work on this topic. Next slide, please. From next November, in particular, we will work on the production of the outputs. Also, these criteria for understand if an output is good to be capitalized. We will work, as I said, on libraries with you, and we will be in contact with your. Will be contacted by your project manager in November to organize the next step ahead, also for capitalization. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Lada, for this useful overview of capitalization activities and capitalization in our program. I would suggest that we go through the questions that we left before. There were some questions again about financials, so I will ask Marco if he can join us here. So we have, when we closed the questions before, we had a confirmation about the invoice that can be easily linked to project. So no stamp is required, but clearly link on invoice as explaining theme. Exactly. So That's what is Marco was already explaining.
My colleague Bojana confirmed it. Yes. Thanks a lot for this confirmation. Then,
okay, then we have a question about partnership agreement. Can partnership agreement be signed digitally or must it be signed exclusively and written? It can be signed in both ways, so it depends on the availability of digital signature. Of course, we prefer the digital signature, so whenever possible, sign it digitally. Then for subsidy contract, in case it is signed and written, should it be sent to MA in original? Yes. If it is signed, confirm into originals. Okay, then it will be one of the two originals will be sent back to the department. Then another question is if there is something similar to COOP in Croatia that Croatian partners need to request from the ministry. Should Croatian and Italian partners follow the Prague rules on their own national rules? No. Okay, I reply on the Prague rules. Prague rules do not apply to our program. We are an Interreg program. This means that we apply the Interreg regulation, and this is the general framework. And then, of course, there are program-specific rules that are included in the team.
and the communication was sent to all Italian partners, so it's mandatory for them.
No similar request from Croatian ministry whatsoever. Then, do consultants partita IVA count as staff? What do you intend for collaborators in the staff cost category?
We already provide a clarification for that during the preparation phase. No, partita IVA is external expertise for our program as well, in line with the 14-20 period.
Should Italian and Croatian partners open dedicated bank accounts or chapters in the balance sheet? So the principle of separation of...
But we think that either you have a separate accounting system or adequate accounting code in place. So it's either one or that.
So you have to apply the principle of separation, and it can be done in many different ways. One is to have different accounts, but also to have, as Marco said, specification on the payments in the same accounting. Then there is a question about the social media channels. In case we wrote in the application form that we will open them, can we now change our idea and prepare only the content? Should we modify the AF? I don't understand what this means to prepare the content only, because if there is a content to be prepared, it should be published. Otherwise, so can Cristina Vidovic maybe explain a bit better?
Yes, hello everyone. Regarding this question, I was asking, of course, the content will be published, but on our institutional social media channels. Is it okay, or we need to, in case we wrote in application form that we will open dedicated social media accounts, we should proceed like this? So the content will be published anyway. So like we just want to understand if we should publish it on the dedicated social media accounts as written in application form, or we can decide to publish it on our institutional accounts. Thank you.
Okay, the assessment of your project has been made based on what was in the application form. So whatever you have written in the application form, if you don't do it, then you have to explain or to propose a change in the application form, even if it's on activity level, it has to be changed if it will not be done. So you need to provide explanation, justification why you want to proceed with a change of the activities. So our maybe piece of advice would be to truly carefully consider a change in the activities, because it has to be justified, and consider that we need to, what the program wants is that the project has visibility. So if you want to propose a change in the way you ensure visibility, not through social media, but through other means, this has to be done. So we cannot simply say that an activity is not done because, as I said at the beginning, the assessment of your proposal was based also on what you included in the application form as deliverables and activities. Does it is it clear? Does it clarify? Okay, there was another question. Okay, I think Christina already replied on the logo and templates. On the time, it was in the slide. As we said, the slides will be at disposal. It says, are there any suggestions regarding the naming of social media accounts? And should editorial plan be sent monthly to the program? Christina, you want to?
Well, about the naming of social media accounts, you should refer to the project acronym, of course. And the second thing is no. The second answer is no. You're not compelled to send us your editorial plan monthly.
You want to intervene? Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Silvia. These, as colleague Christina said, naming the accounts besides and how do you set up the visual will be given to you in the book of the branding. So because we had these indications also for the program, all the programs had these indications on how to set the visual appeal on the program set by the brand book that was produced by Interact. So we can do also the same for your brand books. And for the editorial plan, already replied Christina, you should plan to include all the communication activities that you will be performing inside the editorial plan for the program duration, and of course that plan can be updated and improved, but you already know on the basis of your activities and deliverables more or less, and the timing that you can plan or have planned with your project. What are you going to publish and when, also on the basis of the activities and planned events and so. And there is another question, Silvia, for maybe for the expenditures of annual program automatic events. I think that this is something that we have included in PIM, so needed to be included in the forecast. I think.
Sorry, I will reply.
Okay,
the travel is a flat rate, so you don't need to have a dedicated let's say activity on the budget, because it's a flat rate. So you can, this is an eligible activity because it's a program event, so you're always it's always an eligible expenditure, but we remind you that this is a flat rate, so whatever it is included as eligible travels, you can carry out these missions accordingly. Correct? Okay. Yes. So yes, regarding the communication team mailing list, We will share all the contacts, but very soon in our website we will update all the contacts of the JS team. So you will be able to reach all the people that spoke today, that you have seen today, and within their specific roles, and to contact them directly if you need them. Anyway, just as let's say way we work with projects, the project manager is always your first contact person. So of course it's good if you want to interact also with the other members, but keep in mind that the project manager is also acting as a first point of access of information, and he will also make sure to involve the other colleagues if needed. We have a question, please.
Yeah, hi to all. I have a question. It's more an aesthetic question, I would say. So regarding the Interreg logo, is this the final version, or there will be something else inserted in that empty space between the Interreg and the Italy-Croatia? Because when I see it like this now, it looks like a little bit broken, like this Italy-Croatia fall out from the entire piece. Is this a final version, or it will be revised, or there will be project acronym placed somewhere?
Yeah, this is our program logo, and that's the way it is. It's not because we wanted it to have this space in between, but it's the way that the European Commission designed it for the 21-27 programming period. We agree with you that it seems that something is missing, but no, that's the final logo. But this is the program logo. So we are working on the project logo, and you, Christina, explained in the presentation, you will be receiving the logo in October, correct? Okay. So each project will receive its own project logo with the acronym and the color of the priority where you are working. And you will be using that logo from that moment on. In the meantime, if you have some activities, if you have the kickoff meeting, you can use the program logo just for communication purposes in these weeks until we don't provide you with your own logo.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, if there are no other questions from participants, maybe you will have other questions in the coming weeks. You can always write to our JS email, and we will make sure to reply as soon as possible. Of course, we will put at disposal the registration from today and the slides. And we are sorry for the technical problems. We are in a room that we use for the first time. It's a new room, and evidently something is not working properly. But next time we will improve for sure. So thank you very much for your participation today, and we will be in touch. And please remember to communicate your kickoff meetings in the coming days. We will make sure to promote them as much as possible. Thank you, and bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. It was so good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Ciao, Tea.
Ciao.
Bye.